everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. This is Vickie and Vickie's Country Home, and I'm here today as part of a YouTube Thanksgiving dinner, and this is a collaboration. We are doing a virtual Thanksgiving dinner, and I just love this idea, and we're inviting you to come along. The channels that are involved with this, the idea was from Renee at Living the Good Life with Grammy Nene, and she approached Mrs. Lori at Whippoorwill Holler, who kind of ran with it. So it includes myself, the farming pastor's wife, Mrs. Katie at Heritage Ways, Sharon Yarbrough from the Threshold Homestead, Apron Strings, Greg's Kitchen, and Super at 60. So all of these wonderful people are going to be making videos of basically the whole Thanksgiving dinner. So it's really a lot of fun. I will put together a playlist and put that down below along with links for all of these channels. Please go check them out. If you like them, subscribe. Be sure and hit notification bell for all of us so you get notified of all these videos. Part of this collaboration is talking about what we're thankful for. And I had some negative comments, but a lot of positive ones on my first video for this collaboration for Italian sausage dressing. If you don't choose to listen to the thankfulness, then you can fast forward or click off the video. That's your choice. But part of this collaboration is talking about the things that we are thankful for. And always, I'm thankful for my husband, Brian. I'm thankful for Mrs. Lori, who is such a wonderful friend. I'm thankful for my home and the valley I live in and my neighbors who are just amazing people. Many have become like a family to me. I'm thankful for my church. We're a very small church, but we are so much like family that sometimes it's hard to get us to sit down and listen because we're so happy to see each other every week. I'm thankful for our country. No matter what's happening, I'm still thankful that I live here in this great nation. I'm thankful for the veterans, and today is Veterans Day as I'm recording this. I'm sure it'll be up later because I've been working all day, now this, and then I have a church board meeting to go to tonight, so it's kind of stacking things along. But we're trying to get all these videos up between the 10th and the 20th of November 2021. So again, I'll try and get the playlist put below and get everybody added as fast as I can so that you can just go to one place. But all the links for all the channels will be below. And I'm thankful for my YouTube family. I'm thankful for all of my wonderful viewers and subscribers who are so encouraging and show so much love, and just know that I love you too. We all love you. That's the reason we do this. So thank you, all of my YouTube people. So what I'm gonna make today for my contribution to the YouTube Thanksgiving dinner is Taffy apple bread pudding. Now I'm getting this out of this Sorghum Treasures cookbook. I got this cookbook in Arkansas when I went to visit Mrs. Lori and Mr. Brown on a road trip last month. Had a blast. My sister and I drove cross country. We just enjoyed that so much, and we just love visiting with Mrs. Lori and Mr. Brown. They are the best people. And my sister is now great friends with them too, so I love that. So we went to Parker Homestead in Arkansas, and they had demonstrations of all kinds of old-time farm equipment and how they did things. And one of those demonstrations was pressing sorghum and also then cooking it down. And while I was there, I bought some of the sorghum. And this is sweet sorghum, and I don't know if there's a brand name on it. I don't see one. It just says sweet sorghum. It's really good. Just putting it on a piece of bread, it was really good. But this recipe uses sorghum, and again, it's taffy apple bread pudding. There's not a whole lot to it, so let's get started making this. First thing I did is I peeled and sliced apples, and this is about 4 medium apples. I used Braeburn. It calls for a tart apple. This is what I have, and it's a good baking apple. But it really is a pretty simple recipe. It didn't take a whole lot of prep work, but I am going to be following the instructions as I go through this. So I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to use 6 slices of white bread. Now, I've got to do it different, so I bought thick sliced brioche style white bread, because it just tastes good anyway, and I thought that would be good in it. And it calls for 5 cups of sliced tart apples, 1 cup of sugar, butter or margarine, 1/3 cup of sorghum, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So what we're going to do is I have softened my butter because we want to basically butter both sides of each piece of bread. And I don't have to be neat because it's going to go inside the casserole anyway. But I'm going to just put that in there. Now, because these aren't square pieces of bread like regular white bread, I may use maybe half, each layer use half a piece. Just like that. And I'm using a 9x5 type baking dish. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could make 13x9 and just double the recipe. Now I'm going to take about 3/4 cup of the sugar. And to that, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm going to blend those together. Now I'm just going to start putting my apples on top of that. And you can be really neat and precise if you want. I probably won't. And I did put my apple slices in lemon water to keep them from turning while I got everything else ready. You do it however you want to do it. Now I put my sorghum in the microwave for just 15 seconds just to make it a little bit thinner and easier to pour. So I'm going to use about half of it on top of the apples. This is really tasty stuff. Now I'm going to sprinkle about half of this mixture of the sugar and nutmeg on top of that. No, this isn't a diet recipe. Just, if you have to say that, then you probably shouldn't make this. But my idea is everything is good in moderation. I don't think we should deny ourselves everything. Although when I was on that keto diet, I thought I was. All right, so I've put about half of the sugar nutmeg mixture on top. Now I'm just going to repeat the layers. So more bread. More apples. Well, darn, I didn't have you aim down here so you could see what I was doing. But this is the same as the last layer. Now, do the same thing. Put the sorghum on top. And this is thick. Like I said, I heated it up and it's cooled off just a bit. That made it possible to pour it, because otherwise it would have been pouring very, very, very slowly. Now I'm going to sprinkle it again with the sugar and nutmeg. And yes, it's a lot of sugar, nutmeg, and sorghum. But hey, it's Thanksgiving, right? Now, if you're using regular bread, it's much thinner. This is thick slices. You would get 3 layers of bread in here. I only have 2 right now because that's all that will fit. Now this is going to cook down, and I am going to use a baking sheet under it because I really have a feeling this is going to overflow some as it starts bubbling and cooking up. But the bread is also going to flatten some, so I may go back and add the top layer of bread. But for right now, I'm just going to cover this. And put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes before we're going to take this cover off. I'm going to check it a little bit before, because like I said, I may add that top layer of bread. We'll have to see. And I'm also, on this baking sheet that I'm putting under it, I am lining it with parchment paper because that'll be much easier to clean up. So into the oven, and I'm setting the timer. All right, here it is, and I did wait about 45 minutes, and then I took the thick slices of bread and sliced those in two so that they were thinner, buttered them, added the sugar on top, and I put it in there for about another 30 to 45 minutes. You want to get a nice brown on top. Now, of course, Brian is helping me, and he came in with his blowtorch to kind of make it look browner on top where the sugar was not melting quickly. But you want the apples soft, and that was what we did. So here it is, and we're going to go over to our church board meeting, eat some supper, and then we're going to have Taffy apple bread pudding. So I'm over at my good friend's house. We just had dinner, and I brought my dessert, my Taffy apple bread pudding. We're going to give it a try before everybody else has to eat it. So I did add thin slices of bread and sugar on top. So here goes. Really good. You can't really taste the sorghum, but I think that's what adds to the Taffy apple taste. It's good. You want to make sure the top gets really brown. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. God bless, and we'll talk soon.